Sorry, my phone went off and that live that just ended, thank God it ended. My phone was even turned upside down and I never knew that it turned upside down. So, thank God I'm having this one now. So like, what was I talking about? Girls, ladies, young ladies, enough of being cold. Enough of zipping up your mouth about guys. Enough of zipping up your mouth about guys. You know that you are going to be taking a lot of responsibilities in future. See, marriage no be wasa. Everything about our lives are interwoven. In this same marriage is where you will be working in some organizations, or you are going to have your business, or you are going to have your own company, and you will need to be attending to a lot of people in your business. You need to be attending to a lot of people in your companies, in your organizations. You need to be attending to a lot of customers, a lot of people who are patronizing, a lot of stakeholders in that particular project that you are carrying, that you are carrying on. So, ladies not being able to ask guys that where is this relationship going? You are also a daft person, please. If my sister has found herself in that kind of shoe before, babe, I love you, but you were daft. If I have found myself in that kind of shoes before, I was daft. But we need to wake up. We need to wake up to our responsibility. Wake up to your future responsibility from now, babes. Guys, wake up to your future responsibilities from now. Yeah, you want to be a lover boy to a girl. You want to be a lover boy to somebody who is falling head over heels with you in your class or in your company, and you feel, oh, don't let me make this lady feel sad or feel bad because she's the one falling in love with me. Anyway, I'm not the one, so let me just try to help her. You are not only helping her, my brother, you are not only helping her, you are digging a pit for yourself. I repeat myself, you are not only helping that baby, because this happens in a lot of organizations, guys. You find out that you are working with this girl or this guy, and you're always seeing yourself, you're always seeing each other every day. You have files to sort together, you have some projects to carry out together, you have to do some travelings together, even. And this girl is already falling in love with you. You are not in love with her. What is your problem? Why do you want to help her love life? My guy, my own guy, responsible guy that you want to be in future, why do you want to help the love life of a lady in your organization because she needs love? What is your problem? Are you a love sharer? Are you Father Christmas who is supposed to be sharing love to everybody? Make your future, choose your future responsibilities now that you are young. You need to sit down and talk to yourself. See, a lot of ladies, they are doing well, they are averagely okay. But when they see money, they cannot close their mouths, they cannot close their eyes. Because their upbringing. Now, this is about upbringing again. There's nothing you and I can do about our upbringing again. It is someone that they are just bringing up that we can say, please, bring up this child in the way that he should go, so that when he is old, he will not depart from it. It looks like a rhyme. It's a biblical verse. But you that you are old already, there's no bringing up for you again. So I cannot even talk about your background. If your background has affected something in your life, if my background has affected something in my life, there's nothing to do to that background than to correct your own present and future. So don't tell me that you were a spoiled brat when you were with your parents. Don't tell me that they spoiled you with money and every gift and all of that while you were young, and now you are old. Yes, you can be a child of a rich person, and the way your parents made you free and have access to everything that you want should also not determine what you are doing now. Now, we are not blaming parents now. Parents have the right to treat their child well. So now my business is with you, me and you, one-on-one. Nobody is blaming parents. But you, after you confess yourself that you were spoiled by your parents, but now that you have grown up, you have to make your future decision by yourself. You have to make your future decision by yourself now. That is the solution. So enough of, I don't know how I got myself into this. I don't know how I came to this place that I am. I don't know how I found myself in this. This is the cry some guys cry when they see themselves cheaply in the bosom of a lady, maybe bosom of a madam in their office, or bosom of some people, even it may be bosom of a rich girl who is looking for love. I said it now that some people would agree that they were spoiled by their parents. You can imagine that kind of a person falling into your hands in the office. How do you handle that kind of a person? Do you say you want to help that person's love life? What is your business helping her love life? Leave her. If she cannot make her own future decision to correct herself not to be spoiled, it is not by engaging in love affair with you that will correct her being spoiled. Now, I'm not saying you should not fall in love with anybody you love to fall in love with. But we are talking about serious relationship that leads to marriage now. If you are falling in love for a serious relationship that leads to marriage, yeah, fine. You draw your line, you make your boundaries too, all of you. But now we are talking about people that just find themselves cheaply in the hands of maybe a guy who just needs love. There are some guys who are lover boys, who does not reject anything under skirt. And there are some of these guys who are so sugar-coated such that the things they will say into your head, oh my God, you just shrink immediately. And when you shrink immediately, when they start pulling the strands of your hair, they start saying, oh, yesterday you have pointed nose, this. You will not be able to say, what the hell is that? Because you have already fallen because of the words. See, ladies and guys, we have the words that we use to attract people to ourselves. Ladies have it too. Many people are opportune to practice it well when they got into marriage, because many people were so strict when they were not married. So they had to learn. They had to learn it when they got into marriage. Yeah, I'm not saying you should not learn love language while you are young, but set boundaries for yourself. Just like we are talking about sexual orientation too. Set boundaries for yourself. Some of these people who needs love, maybe let me be calling these people who just need any love, any kind of love around you. You find some people, you even meet them in the church. A lot of things are happening in the church, guys and ladies. You find some of these people in the church. See, there is no way you will not find different kinds of people. We have our personalities, we have our individual differences. You will find some people in the church who are worshipers just like you, who are workers in your church just like you, or in your place of worship, but they are just looking for love. I'm not saying they are looking for marriage. They are just looking for love. Someone who will be pampering them, someone who will be touching their cheeks, someone who will be pulling their hair, someone who, and some of these people, that was how their dad brought them up. Apologies to daddies, please. Daddies who join these our programs, just take it as an opportunity to let your boys and your girls learn from it. I'm not tagging you at all about any bad thing, but if you see anything that is bad in this, please, let's teach our girls and guys to correct it by themselves if daddy cannot correct it. A lot of daddies were so much attracted to their girls. A lot of daddies were so much attracted to their girls that they don't know that attraction they had for their girls is what is affecting them now. Not even only in relationship, but in different areas of life where they meet themselves. You see a lot of girls in offices, there is no guy they cannot sleep on their chest. I am sorry if I am stepping on your toes. I know that a lot of people do this and they don't see anything wrong there. That is why this, my own program, is talking to my guys and babes who wants to be responsible in future and responsible in this line of what we are talking about. There are ladies in your office who can sleep on the chest of anybody. Do we think, are you picking what you are doing from your future? Now, a lot of people detach their future from their present. A lot of people say, this is where I find myself now, let me enjoy myself. We'll take it a step as it comes, right? Or when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it, right? That's what some people say. Don't get to the bridge before you cross it. That is why you see a lot of people who are doing exceptionally well, more than some people in everything about life. You see them and you are like, what kind of complete human being is this? And this kind of people are very rare to see. So you can imagine if Ndidi has already taken that one that is complete, where do you want to find your own? That is why we need to help ourselves now to choose your future from now and be a complete person for yourself, so that wives, 1,000 yard material to marry will not be scarce for my guys. Please, I'm begging on behalf of guys. Ladies, put yourself together now. Stop falling on guys anyhow. That is because that is just the example we are talking about now. This Valentine now, what some ladies will put themselves into, you would not be able to open your mouth to say it, just because it is Valentine. And that is why when you see some ladies who don't have vow, I'm sorry, it's not as if they are too strict, or it's not as if they carry the whole world on their head. A lot of people tend to talk about them and say, you bottle up, why are you not mixing up, why are you not flexing with everybody and all of that. Please, it is not everybody that loves to flex. There are ladies who knows how to flex very well, excuse me. They know how to flex very well. But you wait, let them become your true babe, as in your fiancé who you are going to get married to, and see if they will not flex with you in that marriage or not. You'll be surprised and be asking them, where did you learn this one? Where did you learn this style? Where did you learn this kind of talk? Where did you learn this thing? Where did you learn this one? A lot of things that you cannot just open your mouth to talk about while you were dating. It is not as if some people don't know how to talk about these things, but they culture themselves, because there are some words, there are some advances that is not meant for everybody. I'm sorry to say, there are some hugs that is not meant for everybody. There are some handshakes that is not meant for everybody. Yeah, it's not like you cannot shake everybody. You meet somebody for the first time on a panel and you need to give a handshake. Yes, but there are some handshakes that has meaning. In the olden days, I don't know if it is time of our parents or my own time, there is this kind of handshake that some guys used to do. I don't want to hide anything in this discussion that we are doing. There is this kind of handshake that some guys used to do that have tampered with the destiny of a lot of girls today. Why? Because the orientation they gave the girls about this kind of handshake is that guys that know what I'm talking about will be laughing now. I'm sure grown-up guys will know it. I don't know if they are still doing it today. Anyway, so the orientation they give some girls when a guy gives you a handshake and they talk about this is that I want to have sex with you. So for you that you found yourself in that dispensation, and just by handshake, a guy is telling you already that I want to have sex with you, what do? You are grown up yourself, you make your decisions because you have your future to plan from now. That is why it is not all advances. It is not all, passionate hugs. that is meant for all guys. I'm sorry if it looks like I'm sounding too spiritual about this, but I'm telling you, because when you give yourself into some of these, it affects some people's personality, because body build up is so different. There are girls who are jovial on a normal day. There are girls who are very playful, that they jump on their daddy to hug them. They jump on their friends to hug them. It doesn't cost them anything. It doesn't send any signal to their brains. But you know, these bodies are wired differently. It depends on the way God created you. So you know your own body. And you have this friend who jumps over everybody to greet them. You know this girl who is being brought up to greet the parents with a peck on the cheek. So now, I'm just talking. Let me choose my own, the one that has to do with me. For instance, if my own kind of upbringing is the upbringing that you have to kneel down with your two legs to greet your elder brother, where you supposed to just say how far in some places, what's up now, waiting this up, waiting they happen. But they teach you and say they no born you well, make you don't kneel down, greet your elder brother. Now compare yourself with somebody who greets the elder brother with a peck on the cheek. You that all your life you kneel down to greet elder brother, not even to now talk of elderly people. Is it you that you get a job in a particular organization now, and you know there are some organizations that they are very open in the way they relate with themselves, they greet very well and all of that. You know yourself. I'm not saying what they are doing is bad. I'm not castigating anybody's background. That is why I said you detach your background from your present state. There are some backgrounds that you have to put behind and grow up and move ahead in your decisions that you are making now. So like the example I gave, you girl, that the way you were brought up is to kneel down to greet your elder brother. And another guy who is brought up in a way that you just simply place a peck on the cheek of your brother to say good morning, or you place a peck on the forehead of your father and hang your hand around the neck of the father, do some singing together and all of that, and you meet yourself in a particular organization, or you meet yourself with a guy who is asking you out, and you see this guy as someone who loves this so much, because this is what they do in their family. They peck to greet, they hold hands, they hug, and all of that. And you, example of, you have to kneel down to greet everybody. You need to caution yourself. You don't have to kill yourself in that kind of relationship. All those things that guy has in him, it will be very useful for you in your marriage. Let us not deceive ourselves. But in that relationship, it may not help you, because you are used to kneeling down to greet people. Just let this guy touch you, just small, just to do like this to you, or to just pull the strand of your ears, or play with your fingers and all of that. Before the guy starts reading A to Z, you're already having this feeling in your body and you are not able to express it and all of that. Babe, that is why what I said in the previous slide, that you need to sit yourself down and give yourself sexual orientation before you go into some relationship. This is what will work for you there. Because this guy does not see it as anything, and if God help you really fall in love with the guy, he will expect you to be responding in that way. But you cannot respond in that way, because your own body was not wired the way his own body was wired. Your body will respond too much. And probably, sometimes the guy would even think, oh, this babe is not responding and all of that. But you know what you are doing. And again, this is where you need to open your mouth and talk. You need to let people know your boundaries in relationship. A lot of people forget about their boundaries because of love. A lot of people forget about their boundaries because of money. A lot of people forget about their boundaries because of sex. That is why I gave the example. This lady that would not be able to talk would not know when she herself would even be the one demanding for sex from the guy, whereas she is not brought up that way. The guy would not see it as anything, but it is a very big ceremony for the girl. It's a big ceremony of romance for the girl because she wasn't experiencing that kind of a thing. So you, babe, sit yourself down. You know the kind of future you want for yourself. For instance, you that know that that is your kind of background, and you have wished that I want to marry one day to a guy that will show me all the love in the whole world, and this kind of love that I did not see from parents, that I did not see from my brothers. You watch some films, those that watch Telemundo, and say, oh, Jesus, see love that I did not see at all. So, but you have to be careful. That short period of whether you're teenage, that you now see a guy that they peg to greet and all of that, and you start getting close. You need to be careful. You are still a teenager, for God's sake, or you are still in your early 20s, for God's sake, and you are not yet married. That is what I'm talking about. We are talking about relationship before marriage for my guys and babes who want to be responsible in future. Daddies that are joining this live, I am sorry, please. Or people who don't find anything wrong in even having sex before marriage. But these ones that we are talking about picking, deciding your future from now. So if you use the whole of your now to fall cheaply into the hand of this guy, yeah, I know that he loves you so much. It is what you prayed for. You never had that experience in your own family. But stop doing like, how do I say it in English? I'm sorry, I'm a Yoruba girl. Omoju Orolari. Yeah, we know that your family was struggling, but you are brilliant, and you could be able to measure up with some people who are from rich background in your school and the place where you work now. You need to pretend in this sense. Yes, this pretense will be useful for you and it will not be sinful. You don't have to place yourself cheap to them. You have to build yourself up to be able to adjust and still to be able to set standard for yourself. For instance, you've not seen riches before, your own upbringing, you've not seen love before, and you are meeting a guy who wants to be kissing every part of your body in the name of showing that I adore you, you are an angel, you are more beautiful than my mother, and all of that, and it's already entering your head. And you are not able to set a standard for yourself. You are not even able to communicate that standard to the guy. My babe, if truly you want to marry that guy, you are becoming daft too. You know, I was using that word. You are becoming daft. Be smart. Don't be proactive alone in the office. Don't be jumping on the stage of your project defense alone in class. And they say, oh, she's the smartest girl in the class. He's the smartest guy. He knows how to do everything. He does everything so official. When we want to do this, it is this guy that will call for it. But when it comes to love and sex, you just fall. And you become so cheap in the hands of that person. You have to make everything about your life interwoven. And you do it from now. How you want your future to be perfect and complete, you have to pick it from now. If you fall back in a particular aspect now that you are not married, there's no way that aspect will not affect you in marriage. Now, this just came to my mind now. Let's quickly push into it. For instance, someone who, before getting married or before you got born again, no, now you are serious for God. But when you were not serious for God and when you were not married, you've enjoyed all kinds of sex. Whether as a lady or as a guy. And you think it's not going to affect you in marriage. See, let me tell you the truth. There is a way it is going to affect you. I'm not dragging anything with anybody who wants to say it's not going to affect anything. Please, just feel free to drop your comments. We will analyze it again. If you think what I am saying is wrong, but I want to believe that God will help us to really learn from one another. So, another comparison that we will do in the area of love and sex now is someone who has already been bold about it as a teenager or as a youth, and you get married to somebody who was indeed an angel before marriage. How do you want to marry these two together? That is why, bros, help yourself now that you are not yet married. Now, when they are telling you that don't waste your life running around girls, thinking, I want to taste, me too, I want to taste her too, I want to taste the babe too, like your friends. Your friends are tasting and they are advising you, guy, you dey mad if you never taste babe before. Your friends are telling you that. Allow them to say you dey mad. Allow yourself according to them. But you know what you are doing because you want to structure your future from now. And when all of you get into that future, they will see the clear difference between two of you. So if you eventually mix with those friends, you also taste babes everywhere and all of that, and you get into marriage. Remember, there's nothing that you are not supposed to discuss with your spouse. Everything that happened to you when you were single, everything you did when you were single, you have to discuss it with the person you are going to marry. That is openness in marriage, because you are going to be doing a lot of things together. Life is interwoven. I tell you, you are even going to be doing your job together, you and your wife. I don't know your profession, but I tell you, there are certain aspects of your job that you are going to need the expertise of your wife. There are certain aspects of your jobs that you are going to need the advice of your husband. So all these things are interwoven. So if you have been pulled back in this particular aspect of life, now that you are a young person, when you get into marriage, it's not even only about you personally alone. Please, don't use your own to destroy the glorious future that your wife and children has. So help yourself now to structure your future by choosing the kind of things you involve yourself in now. Because serious babes and guys that are going to be responsible in future, whether you like it or not, if you have had sex with 5 guys before you got married, you must tell your husband to be. Say amen. Yes, I'm not even saying you must tell your husband now, for you to even know the period that you have to discuss this kind of things. See, a lot of people have made these mistakes, and there is serious fight in their marriage that if I feel like I really advise them and I go to them to sit them down to say, let's talk, there are some things that you will never open your mouth to tell your pastor. There are some things you never open your mouth to tell Malam. There are some things you never open your mouth to tell someone you respect very well. There are some intimate things that are only strictly between husbands and wife. But because you did it while you were young, when you were single, it will fire back in your marriage, and you will continue to fight your wife, and nobody will ever be able to place the reason, because both of you know that you must never say this to them. Because hello, you're actually building a responsible marriage, right? So there are some things you're not going to tell the third party. There are some boundaries that you are going to say, we are not going to discuss this with anybody no matter what. Yeah, I'm not talking about things that has to do with life. We are not even talking about domestic violence here at all. Yeah, things that will take your life, you should not keep quiet about it. I don't want to go there at all. We are talking love, money, and relationship today. So let's enjoy ourselves very well. So take note of this. You are going to tell your wife to be, if you were intimately having sex with a particular lady and you have even lost count, you have to say it, guy. So it may look funny, it may look outdated, it may look like something that shouldn't be talked about. Yes, in some places it is something that shouldn't be talked about, but in this circle, this our own clique of guys and babes who wants to be responsible in future, this is a must for you. My friends who are teens and youth, it is a must. Take it now and start ruminating about it in your head. Ask people who are married. You can even tell them, don't tell me everything. No, don't tell me everything, but ask them. Issues about sex that were not discussed before marriage. Do they go smooth in marriage or not? You'll be surprised at what they will tell you. So since a lot of people did not discuss this, please, I am telling you now, make sure you discuss it. So you know that you will not have that boldness to discuss about the sex you had when you were in secondary school. Even as little or as how do I say it? As, I don't know how to describe it. Even the sex that you had, now this is a serious one and a sad one now. So I'm so sorry to those that experienced it. But you also have to discuss it. Any sex that even happened to you, whether as a 3-year-old, as a 7-year-old, as a 12-year-old, I'm sorry I'm saying this. I know that this is a very sensitive thing in our society now. But we have to put it together. Don't think you escaped because it was a rape. Even as something serious as rape, you have to discuss it. Why? I'm not saying you were at fault that something as bad as that happened to you, but do you know that there are some things that will be noticed in marriage that you will really have reason to discuss this with your husband or your wife? And if you don't discuss it, you keep it to yourself, you keep generating a lot of issues here in this world and even beyond. My brothers and sisters, you know, when you get to heaven, any sin that is not confessed will be judged. So especially when you are now tying the knot with somebody in marriage, don't forget that you have become one body. You don't owe anybody in the world any explanation to discuss your sex life with them. You don't even owe your closest friend. But take this and know it for good, that you owe that man or that lady you are going to marry every story, and in fact, every style, and in fact, every weeping and crying that happened to you about any kind of sex before you got married. So, let me not say much about that. I believe that sank very well. But if you know that I don't have the liver to be discussing that kind of thing, because some of my guys and babes here, they are very stubborn. They don't have liver to be discussing that kind of thing to any guy. Let the person be the biggest guy in the world, or let the guy even love me so much. I would not want to discuss my past. Bros, if you know you would not want to discuss your past, don't let that past happen to you now. So that is why that future that you know that you don't have liver to discuss it with your partner, prevent it now in this present and don't engage in it. Because you engage in the sex now, you are going to need it. You are going to need to talk about it. Another reason why you are going to need to talk about it and to really forgive yourself with your spouse. Now, forgiveness has to come in too. Once you know that you are really in love with this person and you have made up your mind to marry this babe or this guy, I know this is going to help a lot of people. Come and sit yourself down, and that you have to forgive any sex story that your partner tells you. You have to be ready to forgive and forget, and don't ever refer to it at all. You don't ever refer to it, because you don't know what that person has passed through. Even to be able to summon the courage to come and say, I'm so sorry to tell you this. This happened when you were this age. This happened when you were this age. Remember that I said that this confession has to be made probably shortly before marriage, when you are sure that you are eventually going to date yourself. Do you know that there are some levels of responsible girls that are even going to make this confession on the first day or on the particular day that they are going to say yes to that man? That is the level of how responsible some girls are. So pick your own level of responsibility, any level where you find yourself. My own is just that, make sure you confess it. Some people, some girls or some guys, the criteria that will make them to say, will you accept to marry me? I know we love each other so much and all of this, but there's something I need to tell you about. See, I have heard a lot of experiences, so I know what I'm talking about. A lot of people have told me things that happened and things that actually worked for them. So it's not as if I'm just cooking this up, and I'm sure that you would agree with me that these things makes relationship peaceful. It makes relationship so joyous. See, there are people in relationships that are not virgins, but they are experiencing heaven on earth. They are enjoying heaven on earth. They are enjoying praying together. For anyone who is just joining us, I'm not trying to preach not to be a virgin. In fact, I am a very strong advocate of being a virgin. See my eyes very well. But because there are some things we just need to talk about too, because see, this teens group and youth group is a very wide one that you cannot say this is the only thing I'm going to talk about. Yes, there could be a day that I want to preach virginity. I'm really going to be strict about it. But now, we are talking about love, money, and sex and relationship. So there's no way we are not going to talk about this virginity in a guy or a girl. Try as much as possible not to be disvirgin. Let's put it straight that way. Maybe I should bring this in too, so that when some people later watch this video, they would not say, Yetunde is preaching this virginity, or Yetunde is encouraging young ones. See, I'm a strong advocate of mentoring people to be a virgin and to keep themselves pure before marriage. Because let me not talk about the many benefits, because today is not a talk for it. I'm going to find a time to talk about that separately. But the only one thing that I'm going to talk about that I want you to hold for yourself, and if you know that there's somebody that you need to tell this, share this video to them, please. Let them learn about this. I always forget to tell people at the beginning of my videos to share. Please, share it. So this is how radio presenters used to say everything. Share this video. They would have said all of this at the beginning. Share this video to everybody that you think should learn this. But I'm always just passionate about what we want to talk about. And I know that for as many people as the video gets to, God is really going to touch them, to help them mold the way they want their future to be from now. Molding future from now is something that I'm very passionate about. So only one thing that I want to talk about, reason that you should keep your virginity. So those that did not have it, I'm so sorry. I know that we are all now responsible people in our different walks of life, in different skills that you have acquired in your place of work, in your church, in your different places of worship, mosques, and all of that. You are mentoring people. Yeah, but for those who are still holding it very well, you are not yet married. I am advocating and saying it and resounding it to you that it pays to keep your virginity. I know, right, that a lot of parents, because I know I'm not being watched by people only in Nigeria, because there are countries where parents even advise their children, if you know you have the urge, go for it, and parents would even buy condom for their children. Yeah, right? I know that there are countries like that. But for the sake that our focus is to teens, guys and girls, teenagers and early 20s, early 30s, who are not yet married and who plan to be responsible in future, whether you are white or black, whether you are from America, you are from UK, you are from Turkey, you are Indian, and you want, like, you follow me, you love me, because we are talking about how to be responsible. Keep the virginity. My white friends who are teenagers and youth, keep your virginity. Indian guys, keep your virginity. Nigerian guys, you know it culturally before. Keep your virginity because of this one thing. And that one thing is that your virginity that you kept till where you got married has a very strong spiritual benefit, either for your wife or for your husband. anytime you watch this video and you think that I'm saying what is right, please clap for me. Use emojis to say clap for me that I'm getting it. But if you think that I'm saying something wrong by advocating that you should keep your virginity because of there are very, very important things, you can let me know if you think I'm saying wrong. I like banters a lot. It's just that I'm the only one on the show today. If I had brought people, the way I would push questions to them, you know, the way I used to drag people so much. But this one, thank God that it's between me and you. Keep that virginity if you have not lost it. Because I'm going to repeat it. I'm not going to mention other benefits. There are so many other benefits. I'm going to do a separate video for that by God's grace. But for the sake of what we are discussing today, I don't want to go deep into it so that people would not even run away. If I had put virginity on that flyer, some people would have run away because today is Valentine and they're actually planning to break some people's virginity. But the Lord will not allow you, because I'm advising you now. Just for this one reason, if you know people that you can ask them that because they married a virgin, did they enjoy a particular spiritual or destiny benefit? A particular benefit that is attached to destiny. Now again, because it's a very wide club, this my club, Teens and Youths Club. Now, my definition of virginity, let's get it straight because I want us to finish this live very fast. Maybe we'll just have another opportunity another day to talk about another topic that would interest all of us. My definition of virginity, number one, is someone who has not had sex before. And there are only two virgins that I would say. Oh, well, there's only one virgin. There are no two virgins. Let me not confuse people. But I will explain it in two ways. There's only one virgin. Someone who has never had sex before marriage, that has never had sex before, is a virgin. But we are talking about the purpose of before marriage. So, you know you have not had sex before marriage. Someone who was raped, for instance, the world will say that you are no longer a virgin. I think I'm going to leave this to encourage some people, because some parents may not know about this. I know, right? My dear friends, guys and girls who are teenagers and youths, you may never want to even open your mouth to say back to God. Thank God the life is back. It wasn't connecting. So I'm going to actually end on these notes and look for a way to still link it up with the main topic of discussion. That if you were raped, the world can say that you have lost your virginity. If you were molested, the world can say that you are not a virgin. If you were sexually assaulted, the world can tag you and begin to look at you. Oh, that girl, that 12-year-old girl, that 8-year-old girl who is not a virgin. And you know, some people, the way these things are interwoven, which makes me to say, choose your future from now. And I'm begging you is that the sad experience some people have, maybe that could even be another discussion another day also. It's not something people want to open up. But I've met with a lot of people. I've done a lot of stories. You may wonder where is she getting all these stories for. By the grace of God, the person God has made me, I have encountered a lot of people. Even apart from being a girl child and female advocate, I have written a lot of stories as a journalist about people who have been assaulted. I have interviewed people one-on-one. So I know where I'm coming from, and I know the things, the places where I'm bringing my points from. So not to deviate into that, the world might say you are not a virgin. Another sad occurrence might happen to you the day that you want to confess to your love, the person who you are going to marry to, who you are already so much in love with. You have promised yourself, you know that you are meant for each other. You are going to marry each other by all standard, even by God's standard. You are going to marry each other. but you know that this sex thing that you have had before marriage, you just need to discuss it with the person. That could be one of the sad experiences. Another sad experience that could even be a global one is that, God help us, all these children that bad things are happening to now, God should help us to castrate all these pedophiles, so that when all these girls that pedophiles have touched, or that were raped, or that were molested, when they find true love, you know what they would have passed through, even in relationship. That's another topic again. So many topics coming up. Another thing they would have struggled with in their mind during that relationship. It takes a guy that you confess to and that embrace you to say that there's no problem about that. I'm going to love you till the end of life, and it's never going to be discussed. It takes that kind of guy to give you happiness in your home. If that is the kind of guy you confessed to, don't worry. The Lord is behind you. You are going to enjoy that home. Another sad occurrence that some of these people can have is like we're actually tilted too much to the side of sex between the three things we mentioned, but it's also okay. Another sad one that can happen to a girl or a guy that was molested excuse me, is if you are taken to mama. Pardon me. If you are taken to mama and you are introduced as the girl or the guy that he or she wants to marry, and the parent or any family member picks your face and remembers, this was the girl that was molested. This was the girl that armed robbers visited their house that was raped. You can imagine that kind of experience. That's another sad experience that people can have. And another worst experience that people like this can have is in their own marriage. If you are a man or a woman that you are still using this kind of a thing against the woman or the man that you are married, we are using the word daft on this program for certain groups of people. You are daft, sir. You are daft, man. If she confessed with you in tears, you embrace that, you say you are going to show her happiness for the rest of her life, and in marriage, because she did one thing or the other, you are bringing up this memory. Please. These are the things that can make some women to kill themselves, because you don't know what they went through. And if you see a woman who truly confesses to you, that tells you that that woman has been a responsible girl all her life. People have shared experiences with me that they feel dejected that the man they will marry will think that they were prostitutes because of one evil thing that happened to them. So if you know that you can forgive, I'm sorry, some parents may not want to hear this, to say, don't preach this to my born-again boy, because my born-again boy must bring a virgin to the house. Daddies and mommy, if you're born-again boy, bring somebody who is not a virgin and you know that she's no longer a virgin. As long as she is now in the family of love, and you know what I mean. As long as she is now born again, embrace her. Don't go and destroy something that will spoil the life of your child in future. Because there are people who parents actually feel this is who my son or my daughter should marry, who is showing them Shege Pro Max. These are the slangs happening now in Nigeria. They are showing them Shege Pro Max in marriage because of the pressure from parents. So I don't want to go too wide, but I just want to encourage somebody out there, like I said, that there is only one virgin. So if you have found yourself in the hands of God, if you found yourself back in the hand of God after the time that you were not a virgin, between you and God, my brother and sister, take this from me. I don't want anybody can quote me anywhere or bring this discussion up. I'm not saying between you and me. Between you and God, you are a virgin. And I say congratulations to you, because even after the ugly incidents that happened to you, you kept yourself. You kept yourself. A lot of people were raped, but they would never allow any man to touch them. That is one of the things some girls have gone through. They would never allow any man to touch them. So if they eventually find love, someone who is going to make them happy for the rest of their lives, please cherish that person so much, because you are a virgin. I'm telling you, between you and God. It depends on your level of faith, guys and girls. You can talk to God what you want. There's nothing you cannot talk to God about. Even about your virginity of a thing, about your disvirginity of a thing. Now, this goes to teenagers, so please, these aspects, you may want to share it with them to know. About your virginity or about your disvirginity. For children of God who were as a result of one thing or the other disvirgined. I'm not talking about people who have useless themselves. I'm not talking about people who even presently, as we are talking, you still sleep around like a dog with men. And you expect to be a responsible person in the nearest future. A lot of people have barely 2 years to becoming a mother. A lot of guys have barely few months to becoming a responsible father. And they are still sleeping around like a dog. I am not talking to those people. The talk I have for you, those people who are sleeping around like dogs, is to stop now. If you know that you are supposed to hold your future from now. I'm not even bringing God into your own matter now. Stop now. Sit down for yourself. Think first. What do I want for myself in future? What do I have for my family? Because whether you like it or not, you're sleeping around like dogs. It's not only going to affect your wife, it can affect the child you bring back, that you bring to this world. Don't ask me how. I know you are a guru too. So think about it. Think deep about it. So if you are doing it, you are sleeping around like a dog. You said you are slaying. You are slaying all men. You are enjoying the life to have the pleasure and all of that. But at the same time, you want to be identified as a responsible babe in future. You want to be identified as a responsible guy in future. You need to stop now. Sit yourself down. Talk to yourself. Then you can then think of when you need God. When you need to go to God. So, but I'm talking about people who have determined to be responsible in their places of work, in their different careers, in their profession. You know you are going to be mentoring people. You know that one day you are going to be shouting, hey, this school. I don't want to mention the name of school. Hey, this school. They don't know how to take care of children. Why are children dying in their school? Why are they talking about sexual molestation by teachers? You don't want to be shouting like that one day. Choose the future from now. Keep the virginity. You who was molested, keep the virginity. I've talked about it before now, so don't be surprised that I'm telling you to keep the virginity. Because if you have gone to God, you would obtain mercy. And how you can continue to maintain that you are responsible and you were now made a virgin. The things that actually mean it is not as if, oh, there's one special, I don't want to go too deep. Anything can happen to anybody. It depends on your level of relationship with God. Anything can happen. And really, remember that there's nothing he cannot do. There's no miracle he cannot perform. If magicians perform magic, how much more you that you eventually give yourself to God? You get being sold out to God. He will answer any prayer you pray. But physically speaking, the things that would tell that you kept yourself, you still maintain being responsible as a man. Network is shaking, okay? That you become truthful to the man you are supposed to marry. You become truthful to the woman you are supposed to marry. You become open and plain to the man you are supposed to marry. I'm saying supposed to marry because I expect that these things will happen between two of you before you get married. Don't get the man crazy by waiting till after your marriage before you confess the people that you had sex with. So you prove to the person that you are going to marry that you have changed. And some people, you don't even need to change. You don't need to change to anything. Some were raped, some were molested, some were assaulted. Some, I'm sure that some of the remedies for them is that their parents will not tell them, because they didn't even know what happened to them at the age that that thing happens to them. So maybe some parents will help in that angle. Maybe some parents would make the decision to only open up to the husband if the husband is a sane person, somebody who, you know, some people are responsible, cultured, they understand anything you tell them, they hold people's life very special, they want to treat people's life very special. These are people who are called good husband material and good wife material. These are the kind of people that some of these things can be talked to. That is why you have to open your brain and open your eyes before you say yes to somebody. I'm not talking about qualities that you are looking out for today. We don't want to discuss that. That can be done by you. But you open your eyes and you know that this is the person that you can discuss the saddest secrets of your life with. And the person is still going to embrace you. A lot of people just do cheap boyfriend and girlfriend things, and I smile and I say, many people don't know what they are putting themselves into. They think, oh, this person is too born again and telling us not to have boyfriends and girlfriends. But because you are going to expose yourself to a lot of things, that you are going to become a fool in the presence of that person. You need to sit down and think. That is why if they say, look for the person that God actually made for you. It's not only about church matter. It's not only about being born again. It is not even only about heaven. It's not only about making it to heaven. It is also about the life you are going to live together here on earth. Because see, some people are born again, but they are facing hell in their marriages. Let's say the truth. Some people are pastors and pastor misses, but they are facing hell in their marriages. So that is why anyone, any level of your relationship with God, try to go closer to God. Yes. Try to go very closer to God, but make sure that you are engaging with somebody that will cherish you even after telling him or her your saddest secrets in life. Somebody that even after telling him or her your saddest secrets in life will not trash your parents or your family in the dustbin. See, it is not only about you. It is not only about making heaven. It is not only about your family. It is also about the life you yourself, two of you will live together in the marriage. Very sad experiences that people have heard, but that God is helping them. So that is why, to keep your responsibility as a man who also wants to be married to a responsible woman in future, you have to pick it from now. Sit yourself down. Some of the few points that I've mentioned that I may not be able to reiterate again. Sit yourself down. We talked about sexual orientation. Give yourself sexual orientation by yourself. That no matter what you bring as a guy, there's no way you are going to have sex with me if you are not the one that has married me. See, there are girls who have done this and they are rejoicing in their marriages now. Set the boundaries now. Share this to youths and teenagers who this can help. You give yourself sexual orientation. Your parents' home may not be enough. Your parents' home may not even sink into your head, because the time some people's mothers are sitting them down on the bed and say, see, hey, this guy that is dropping letter in your bag, that the love is hindering your head, just tell him that when you finish your education, yes, ma'am, or it is only after marriage that you will have sex. Is that enough sexual orientation? You give yourself sexual orientation, because if you don't, your parents will not be there when you are falling down cheap on the bed of every man before you get married. Because see, there are babes, teens and youths now who it wasn't even their fault to have sex at the first time, but they now love it because of the calamity that they have found themselves in. I don't want to say much about that. Give yourself sexual orientation, or pick your future from now. The future you want to have, pick it from now. In every decision you are making, in people you are engaging with, the friends you are mixing up with, the friends that you are following, the people you are saying yes with. Take the decision now. Give yourself boundaries in relationships. We can't do without relationships, guys. We can't do without falling in love. All of us fell in love. There's nobody who did not fall in love. If you did not fall in love, you are not going to marry. And maybe because of your cultural belief or respect or religious belief, maybe they did not used to fall in love or in your own angle before you get married. It will be difficult to enjoy that marriage. It will be difficult. So there's no way you can run away from falling in love. We cannot excuse it, but you need to be sane in your love affairs. You need to be sane. You need to give yourself targets. Thank God I remembered that again. You need to give yourself targets. See, even about sex, the Bible passage that says, "Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he will stand before kings and not before mean men." If you are prudent and pure about your sex life, both guys and ladies, if you are pure and prudent about your sex life, you will stand before kings. I have seen kings that beg girls for their virginity. Thank God this is coming too. You know, when I was saying I will mention only one reason why you should keep virginity, that came to my mind. I didn't remember that time. There are kings who understand spirituality. See, a lot of Christians, Muslims, you don't understand the spirituality about some things. There are kings, when they see a virgin lady, they would beg, they would even promise not to touch her until they get married to her, because there is a particular spiritual blessing and destiny blessing that they are going to get from her. So it's not as if my own is too much by saying if you have your virginity, keep it. If you know people who have their virginity, share this video with them so that you can encourage them to keep it. Your family is going to enjoy some strange blessings that you will be surprised. If you can keep it, if you can try so much to keep it, you and your husband to be, even from before you get married, you are going to enjoy some strange favors. I'm not saying every other person will not enjoy strange favors. That is why, like I said, that it is a white club, and I have already brought in some people into virginity, even though from the way we explained it, because of some circumstances and all that. So the virgins I'm talking about, you know, you kept yourself, and you know, as a result of the bad experience you had that made you to lose your virginity, you did not take that as an opportunity to be loose and be opening your private parts for everybody. But you still kept yourself, including you. Yes, you that did that. So I'm talking to you. You are going to enjoy some, because you kept your vow with God. That is what it means. You were not the one who went looking for men or something and all of that. There are situations that you could not help. But the ones that you can help young girls to avoid, please help them. There are some safety tips that can help girls when they are seeing sexual advances from men. I don't know if I can put that together and come and teach it one day. It's professional though, but it can help. It can help some people. And I'm sure if you browse, you can see a lot of things, girls and guys. There are safety tips that can help you to get away from sexual advances, that there is a way you are going to make it and the person will not be able to have sex with you. Teens and guys who are not yet married, if this is going to help you, take it and take it for good. You can learn it, you can browse it, you can research, you can talk, you can find out about it if you really determine. Even if you look frail or fragile, there are some simple things that you can do that can make somebody who wants to have a forceful sex with you to run away from you or to hate you? Wouldn't you be happy if somebody wants to have a forceful sex with you and you did something and the person just hated you and just does not want to open your clothes? Babe, you will share the testimony. There are tips like that. If there is time and if there is opportunity to gather this fact, it will be discussed. So please, on this final and rounding up notes, keep it if you have it. Keep it for the sake of the favors that will come to you and your family, because it is not only about now, it is about future of even your children. Some favors, exceptional ones that even your own children will receive, because you kept yourself responsible when you were young, and because you amended your ways, because you came back to God, because you found your way back with God. Like you know, on my shows, there's no way we are not eventually going to link up anything we are talking about to God, because God is the one that can do all of this to you. There's no way you can be molested and be physically happy. There's no way you can be raped and be physically happy, but you can find your happiness in God, and He provides a partner who is going to give you joy for the rest of your life. So keep it when you have it. Please help your future wife and unborn children now by choosing a responsible way of life, by choosing the kind of people you submit yourself to, by choosing even the kind of people you place checks on, you place peck on their cheeks and kisses on their lips. It's me, I don't even know who you should kiss, so if not your husband or your wife. Please don't say Mommy Gio has come. Nobody has ordained me as a Mommy Gio. But honestly speaking, there are some things that should be exclusively for your husband and your wife. Because when you marry, you that you are doing it now, are you ever going to be at peace when you see your wife? Maybe you are just going out on a date and an old friend comes, and even beyond just side hug, or beyond just say, oh, very old friend or my brother or something, and the guy just come straight to her lips and place a deep kiss. Will you accept it? So that tells you guys that if you are doing it now, you are wrong, because it is not meant for that person you are doing it with. Anytime you are doing it, let your heart be doing bish bish bish. Anytime you are under a roof or a particular hidden place and the thing is trying to happen, look for the skills that will make you run away from it, that will not make it happen. Because if nobody is seeing you, God is seeing you. And even if God is seeing you, you know God will not come down to slap you. Your future, things will be affected in your home, in your marriage, that we have talked about earlier. So, and one of the ways that makes people keep themselves away from this is by being moral, being responsible, and giving yourself to God. It is not a failure if you give yourself to God. People who give themselves to God as singles, they are proud to be. We are proud to be. Those that gave themselves out to God as single, it is paying off for them now that they are married. A lot of people are still scratching for where to look for God now after marriage. A marriage where you are supposed to be commanding nations to bow for your children, where you are supposed to be commanding wealth of nations to come to your home. That is where some people are just scratching to look for God or to be serious about God. So if somebody is telling you now to be born again or to give your life to Christ, it looks like a mad thing to some people. I used to laugh. It looks like something that is mad to some people. But do you know that your being serious for God now can help your family in future? There are some things you would decree into your home that would come to pass instantly. I'm borrowing you this kobo that I have because there are things that work. There are some prophecies that because you have given yourself to God now as a single person, that you and your wife will hold your hands and say, no, we cancel it. and it will be cancelled. There are some things, there are some courses that some people have had from when they were growing up, or that their parents told them about. Do you know that some people still carry these courses into their marriage? And they carry this thing to go and affect innocent people, and they are suffering it together. But now that they are telling you to do something that will make you to yank those things off, so that you can be strong. Your own family when you get married is important too. Now that you are a teenager and a youth, the family you will have when you get married is very important. So you see someone telling you, give time to God now, serve God, give your life to God, and be serious with Him. That person can never hate you. Time will tell. You will know the importance of things. There are things that there is no pastor or bishop in this life that can pray it into your life. Quote me anywhere and go and ask from anybody. There are things that there is no pastor that can pray it into your life. By the time you get to a level of tutoring with that pastor will sit you down, maybe after the person has now made you to be intimate with God, and not tell you, start saying these things with your mouth. That is when it will happen in your life. Go and find out and quote me anywhere. So now, please, choose that future that you desire, that future that you really love to have. Choose it now. Choose it wisely now. And I'm sure that we are all going to be smiling together when we meet. Yes, thank you for the thumbs up. I'm going to say my bye-bye. We'll be smiling together, I am very, very sure. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thank you so much for the shares. Those that are sharing this video and those that would share it after now. The video is actually in 2 parts. Network made the first one to cut off. That is a very strong one. We actually stopped at a climax when we were talking about, I think, sexual orientation or something. So that it's a very strong video too that you should go back and watch if you just joined us on this aspect of the life, and that you should also share to everybody who should see this. I'm going to be posting some other topics that we'll be talking about. God helping me to find time to be frequent now. I wish we can be doing this every week, but I'm going to change and we'll be having it because I know it's going to really help a lot of people. Your own courage too and your own story. I know it is going to help a lot of people by the time you share it. So please let us encourage people to watch this video. Share it to your teenage group, your youth group, your school group, your friend, youths in the mosque, even in parties. Let them watch this so that those things that they would have gotten deep into at the beach party, by the time they see this kind of video, their body will cut and say, it's not even only about saying, don't do this, don't have this friend, don't have this sex, but it is about my own body, my own life, my future, my children, and my wife. So God is going to help all of us to be able to do more, to encourage as many people as we can encourage, and to help as many people that we can help to get it right about picking and structuring the future they want to have from now. And please, the video I played at the beginning of the live, you can check Monjola Jesu Olugbeminiyi on Instagram. You can share the video, you can watch it. It's a love song. It's a love song, but it is a religious song. So don't panic. It's not a song that you will see all those rubbish things on it. It is a song that would edify. So you can watch and share maybe when I finish, and the link, it might have been shared on the other video by somebody or so. So please, anytime I post flyers, or maybe once we go live, I know that flyers may not really count as this video that you would love somebody to watch. Once we start this kind of live, please encourage others and encourage me too, so that I know that a lot of people are watching. By sharing it, once you say, Sandra came to my head, she needs to watch this video, just share it to the person. Let the person, or you've already shared it, whether the person will say that, this talk really touched my heart or broke my heart, then I'm going to have to start picking it up again to live a good life. You have already shared it and you have helped a life. That is one of my push points. Something that is going to help somebody's life. You have already done it. There's nothing that person can do. When the person eventually becomes responsible, he will come and thank you later. So, my name is Yetunde Olugbenga. I'm your regular friend on Deep Talks, hot topics about youth and teenagers. We will always have them handy to discuss them. We will always have them at our fingertips. So please encourage me by watching this video and sharing it to many church groups, many social groups that you think people need to change. Some people are not born again, but by the time they watch this video, they are really going to have a change of heart. So please help somebody to have a change of heart today by sharing this video, and I'll be announcing the next time that we'll have another topic, we always have strong topics to discuss. So another topic to discuss. So because it is Valentine, even though we have discussed something hotter than Valentine, something more beneficial than Valentine, let us still say happy Valentine to all of us. And may we know the true meaning of Valentine and what to do on a Valentine days, the days that you call your Valentine day. It may not be only today, so that we'll always get things right about relationship, about love, about sex, about money, relationship, about age, about different things that should be talked about as a teenager and as a youth. Thank you so much, everyone who glued to this video. Some people were not even going off and on. You stayed glued. That gives me the courage that we are really making impact in people's lives. And I say thumbs up to you too. Thank you so much. Please share this and let it go viral. Let it go to different places and let a lot of young ones learn from what we have done. Of course, they are going to see your name while watching too as it's scrolling up, so they will know that you are endorsing this video for them to watch. You are recommending this video. When they see that you were watching, they know that you are actually, this auntie, this uncle is recommending this video, even though they don't know me. So, but they can believe me through you. So thank you so much for believing in me. Thank you for believing in the topics I'm bringing. We're definitely going to meet very, very soon, I tell you. It may be on live and it may be recorded, but I'm sure and I promise you know that you are going to enjoy another thing that we are going to bring to you. My name is Yetunde Olugbenga. I'm going to meet you again. Thank you so much, and please do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.